Hello, this is Mayor Bollwage, and welcome to another edition of Our City. There's a few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. As you know, we are attempting to get as many people in our city inoculated with the vaccine as fast as possible. We have plenty of supply, unlike it was January and February. There are no lines, so we're encouraging you to get registered. Anyone 16 years of age and older can get registered for the vaccine. And we believe that starting next week, it'll be anyone 12 years of age and older. Those rules have not been put out yet, but we expect them soon. You can register at ucnjvaccine.org for Kane University or the Peterstown Community Center. If you go on that website, you just click Peterstown Community Center and you can get registered there. You can go to the CVS Pharmacy. They have availability. You can go to cvs.com. Or you can go to Stop and Shop here in Elizabeth, which is stopandshop.com/COVID-vaccine. You may also register on the state website, which is covidvaccine.nj.org, and that's for Trinitas Regional Medical Center, and they give them out at the Dunn Center or the ShopRite on West Grand Street, as well as other locations. Keep in mind, we are at the stage now where we're accepting at all of these locations walk-ins. So if you see a vaccine clinic, you're in the area, just walk in and you can get registered. COVID-19 testing is still happening. Just because vaccines are occurring, we still need people to get tested, especially if you're exhibiting any type of symptoms. We are doing it at the X-Haven Recreation Center during the month of May on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also the Stephen Sampson Center on Monday and Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. As always, an appointment is not necessary, but while insurance is not required, we do ask if you have health insurance to bring it with you and a photo ID. Drive-through testing is available at Kane University on Mondays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays 8:30 to 12 p.m. You can book an appointment at ucnj.org/COVID-19 or just call 908-214-7107. We must all continue to follow the social distance guidelines. We must continue to wear face masks, especially when we are in large groups and inside. Whether you're outside, wash your hands as frequently as possible and keep 6 feet of distance. Now, I gave an awful lot of numbers and an awful lot of times. And if you can't remember it or you didn't write it down, you can call our public information office at 908-820-4124, and we can update you on any of this information. So please stay safe and follow the social distance rules. Now, for tonight's show, I am pleased to be joined by a group of young people who work with Groundwork Elizabeth. We've been meeting monthly through Zoom, talking about how we can make the city better. And also, they put together a commercial encouraging young people to get vaccinated. And for this afternoon's show, I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Lucy Crespo, who is the youth director. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I'm also joined by Miss Candy Alba, who is a youth leader. Candy, good to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
And Mr. Jules Tezon. Did I say it right, Jules?
Yeah, you said it right.
There you go, youth coordinator, Jules.
Mm-hmm.
I want to borrow some of your hair, Jules.
Anytime.
I can use some of that, all right? As you can tell, you got a full head of hair there, and I'm still working on trying to get a little more.
Hey, I can spare.
It's there, huh, Jules?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we begin with the three of you at least telling me and our viewers a little bit about yourself and how you've come to know Groundwork and the work you're doing there. And Lucy, we want to go with you first, and then you can hand it off.
Sure. Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm the Director of Youth Initiatives for Groundwork Elizabeth. I have been working here since 2014, and I was originally a youth myself. I started off at the Tour of Elizabeth, right in front of City Hall, worked my way up as a youth leader, and now as a director. Now I oversee all the projects from Green Team, working at national parks, wildlife refuge, and projects here locally, to working with the Mayor's Youth Council, coordinating a lot of the projects, and also coordinating the summer work. I also do the air quality here with Groundwork Elizabeth, among many other projects.
And you have a little bambino too, right, Lucy?
Yes, I just had a baby boy.
That's right. How is he doing?
He's doing great. He's learning about all the work that I do. I just started getting him involved in planting. We just brought him to the plant cell. He joined us at the Earth Day with You event. So he's having a blast so far, but we have so much more to go.
That's good. So who's next, Lucy?
Jules, you
Oh,
want to go?
yeah. So hello, I'm Jules. I'm the youth coordinator for Groundwork. I started this organization around 2017. I grew up in Elizabeth my whole life. This is the one city I know. I have my love for it, and I just wanted to help out my community. And I found out about this organization, and I was hooked from then.
So Jules, coming up in Elizabeth, where'd you go to schools?
I went to school 3, and then I went to school 29. And then from 29, I went to, at the time when it was Upper and Lower Academy. And then my last year of high school, I went to FJC Academy.
And that leaves you, Candy.
Hi, my name is Candy. I started as a volunteer originally when I was 16. I needed volunteer hours, so my friend told me, "Hey, there's like this Elizabeth River cleanup. If you want to get hours, you can go." So I went and learned a little bit more about the organization. I actually had friends in common with Lucy, and then she just kind of told me a little bit about it. Then I became a youth while she was a green team leader. And then, I was on and off like volunteering. And then now, like, I'm 23 and I'm a green team leader. So it's been so amazing to kind of see, how like it has come full circle, and now being able to help youth myself this summer. So it's been great, and like just learning so much about my community. Like Jules, I've grown up here since I was 2 in Elizabeth. So just having a lot of care for my community as well.
So Candy, did you know Jules from school before this, or you kind of met here?
Yeah, I kind of met him during one of like our green team meetings, and then he started coming on the group, so we just went from there.
Candy actually knew my little sister.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We all went to school here. I actually came to the United States when I was 4 from Argentina, and we grew up in Elizabeth my
Mhm.
whole life, and my sister was her friend, or is her friend.
Small world. So you've all mentioned the green team, and I think you need to tell our viewers what is the green team, and what do they do? Because I enjoy meeting with them when they're out on a cleanup or something. So tell us the green team. What is it first?
Definitely. So the Green Team is a group of youth ages 14 to 24 who work on conservation projects, restoration, environmental studies, everything, air quality. And what we do is we focus on our urban waters and trails here in Elizabeth. Urban agriculture, our headquarters is actually at the Microfarm and Environmental Center behind the Moyer Branch Library. And that's one of our focus areas and demonstration sites. We also go to Phil Rizzuto Park, and we have our, it's not 1 mile, it's a quarter of a mile trail that we focus on there. We also work on the river trail where we met Candy actually doing a cleanup. We do cleanups at the Elizabeth waterfront, apart from other projects at national parks, like Morristown National Park, Patterson Falls, Gateway National Recreation Area, Yellowstone National Park. And we also work at wildlife refuge like the Great Swamp Wildlife Refuge, Wallkill, and Cherry Valley.
You've been out to Yellowstone?
We've been out to
Mhm.
Yellowstone many times since 2014.
Really? I didn't know that.
We work at Yellowstone National Park. We work at Grand Tetons, Grand Canyon, the Rocky Mountains. We were all over the place.
Wow. So, Candy, you talked about when you were in school that somebody said to you, "Hey, you can get hours." You thought it was just going to be a couple hours and be done with it. And now look at you.
Yes.
Definitely. I was just like, you know what? I just need at least 10 hours. Let me just kind of get this done and then get over with it. But I feel like that's where my love for, you know, volunteering and being a part of my community, having stewardship for my environment and just everything around me definitely blossomed there. So I definitely encourage any youth that I know that's in high school to volunteer at these things, because it just kind of forms newer generations of people who care about their community and their environment.
And the great part is that people like Candy and Jules eventually get jobs at the National Park Service, Wildlife Refuge. We have someone that is leaving as we speak to Grand Tetons National Park to work as a ranger. So there is a high transition of our youth moving on to better jobs, and we have a very high success rate of our youth getting greater jobs.
So, Candy, as the mayor, I'm always fascinated by the diversity of our community. And Lucy said she hails from Argentina. What is your heritage?
Oh, I'm Peruvian.
Okay.
I came here when I was 2 and never left Elizabeth ever
Yes.
since.
Good. And Jules, what is your heritage?
My mother is from Jamaica, my father's from Peru, and I'm a first generation American.
Okay, so Jules, did you come on board to get hours, or how did you originally find out about Groundwork?
How I found out about Groundwork is that after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Originally, I wanted to go into music, but at Union County College, there was this class course that would hand you a stipend for $400 for 2 weeks just to take the class, and I said, "That's easy money. I'm gonna
So
go take the class." And there was where I found out about conservation and the environment
the
and
Green
that
Careers projects.
green careers and like other opportunities in that field. And I was really interested. And I spoke to Lucy at the event, and on the spot, she hired me. She took that chance. She was like, "Hey, you seem interested. You seem like you really want to help out in your community. So let's just have you on board." And from there, I was just been really gung ho about it. And that's the one thing that I love to do here in agri groundwork is to give other people who live in my community the same opportunities that I had,
Opportunities.
and maybe even more opportunities.
And creating those opportunities, because Jules actually came up to me that summer and said, "This is what I like to see in the program." And from there it sparked to, well, we should base our program based on what the youth in this community want. And that's what we mold our programming to what the youth need, and that's who we serve.
Well, that was a beautiful segue, by the way, Lucy, into the PSA that you did. And so when you all came up with that was an idea that your group came up with. And how did it originate with one of the folks here? I know Jules took a lead in all that. It did. So the idea, Jules, actually originated with you? Because you took the lead on the Zoom calls with me. And
Yeah.
I was just wondering what was going on behind the scenes with you folks.
Behind the scenes, well, the one thing is that we all wanted to get the word out there to take the vaccine, and we're just all starting to brainstorm on how we're able to do that, because you have the idea, but then after that is how you hand it out to the community where they want to learn from it and they want to kind of educate other people as they go in passing. And with the youth on the mayor's the council, they came up with, hey, let's shoot kind of like a PSA or like a commercial like you would for a pharmaceutical drug. So like if you take Allegra, or for like for Claritin, how they have the commercials where they list the symptoms and everything that is used for, and we kind of went off of that. And I just want to give applause for the youth on the council that they came up with the whole script. I was just there to oversee it, to make sure everything is there, and they came up with the ideas, the whole concept of having like the myths, and to debunk the myths and to show the truth for the community. So that whole process was a great experience for all of them, and for also myself.
And talking about the misinformation that is spread through social media is a big one, because that's what we see every day, and just helping with a lot of the debunking of those myths. I hope that it's making a big impact in our community.
Yes.
Candy, were you involved in this PSA in any way?
Yes, I actually got together with Jules and another I think a former green team leader, and we kind of got together and started doing a rough draft on the script. What ideas would we want to have put in? What myths we want to get busted? How would we, set up the settings and stuff like that? And kind of like what Jules was saying, drawing ideas from the people in the mayor's youth council and being like, you know what, we want to see this as a type of PSA that's kind of like a commercial, and it's interesting, and you see people from the community themselves and actually people that we know, and it was very important to have the youth in the video, so people that are our age or younger would want to get the vaccine themselves, and seeing that other people themselves are getting it and advocating for it was very important.
And it's
So
working.
Mhm.
no, sorry, Lucy, at the end of the show, I'm gonna ask the Cracker Jack staff here that's with me to run the PSA and leave enough time for that. So, because we've been putting it out on social media, so we might as well put it out on this. I'm hoping we can do that. I'm getting a nod from Christian that says we can do that. We're gonna leave enough time at the end of the show and run that PSA. That'll be pretty cool. So were there any obstacles in filming the PSA? Did it go as smooth as you thought? Or what kind of road bumps did you hit?
Well, the obstacles that we've had was, one is we don't have experience doing commercials or anything like that. It was really just like out of the blue, and well, all of us on the staff put hours and hours of like the research to see how we're able to pull this off. And with the youth, they showed up and they delivered, and I'm glad for that. I would say the only obstacles we honestly had was with the weather. That was
Yes.
that was the one thing that we can't control ourselves, but we made the best of it, and we just rescheduled, and all our youth just came to play the game. They were there to support and to do their job.
So during the PSA, you actually addressed some of the misconceptions and the distorted facts or the distorted information that's out there. Talk about some of those distortions. Candy?
So one of them was actually the one that I, came up to the camera and spoke about was uh, the myth that the COVID vaccine can cause infertility. There has been no sign and no evidence that it can cause infertility, and a lot of people were just scared of, taking the vaccine because maybe they were planning on, having a pregnancy or something like that, or they were in the midst of their pregnancy. We definitely didn't want anyone to feel like they couldn't, take care of themselves with the vaccine, or, by another hand, protect other people that they love, like their grandparents or anything like that, by not taking the shot. So we definitely wanted to make sure that the people who were in, like, it had in mind the infertility, that they would be at ease and know that it can't cause infertility, that you will be able to have kids in the future. And that's why it was important to have Lucy, like, with her
Enzo,
baby.
yeah.
Because she herself took the shot, and took that chance and stuff like that.
And I think a big part of it too is making sure that they know where to get the information if they do want to find out more on their own, or referring to a doctor. Also, if they're pregnant, want to take the vaccine, breastfeeding and want to take the vaccine, things like that, you should always refer to your doctor in order to make sure that you're covered and safe.
So without naming anybody, were any of the young people in the commercials concerned about taking the vaccine, or do you think the young people who did this all wanted to take the vaccine at some point?
I would say before the PSA,
before the PSA.
they were very skeptic about it. And I think after just starting to work on it and to be a part of the process,
And
they've all
educated about
yeah,
the
Yeah.
and
vaccine.
educated about it. They were all more open to receive it and to take it.
And actually, after the PSA was released, I watched it with my family, and I was the first one to sign up for to schedule my vaccine. And then now half my family already scheduled their vaccine, so it's taking an impact. Even if I can just see it in my family, I'm hoping that the same is occurring with other families.
So the importance of getting young people involved, I think you answered that question, Jules, when you said that there was skepticism before you did the PSA, and now they're all on board because we're probably a week away from it being authorized for 12 years and up.
Yes.
So if you have little brothers and sisters, would you encourage them to get the vaccine?
100%, because the one thing that we all have to realize is that we're taking the shot, but it's not only about us, it's about the community that we live in. We all care about the people in our community. They're the main drive to move us all forward. They're the life in it. So just to make sure that they're all safe and they're all protected is just the one thing that we should all strive to do.
So Candy, the video have an impact in your community or your family?
Definitely. So my grandparents got their vaccine beforehand, before the video, but I have a lot of family, I have a lot of cousins. I don't have siblings myself, but I have a lot of cousins. And I showed them the video, and they obviously they thought it was funny because I was in the video, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's kind of funny." Just jokes and stuff like that. But once they heard the facts and stuff like that, they're like, "Oh yeah, my friend actually told me that they put microchip in the vaccine and stuff like that." And I'm like, yeah, that's a myth. And then they actually got the information as to why it's a myth. So definitely calming down those lies and spreading that information to people that are even 15 or 12, and then having them correct their friends or be like, actually, my cousin got the vaccine and they actually did a commercial on the vaccine, and they themselves have facts on why some of these things are myths, was super important. And I was really happy that I was able to be a part of something like that, where I could visibly see the younger people in my family want to take the vaccine, because I already knew in my family the adults were ready on board to take the vaccine for my grandparents, but I feel like the youth sometimes feel like they may not need it, or they hear so many things on Instagram or TikTok, that it was good that the
Good.
video came out.
So listen, I want to thank the three of you for being on the show. I want to save enough time to run the video. Lucy, thanks for your leadership as a director. And Candy and Jules, I appreciate all the time that you two are putting in, not only on this message today, but also on our monthly calls with the young people. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to thank Miss Lucy Crespo as the youth director, Miss Candy Alva as the youth leader, and Mr. Jules Tezon as the youth coordinator for joining me on Our City. Get vaccinated. This is Mayor Chris Bollwage.
Many feel as if the COVID-19 vaccine was rushed when in reality it went through the same clinical trials as any other.
Some believe that the vaccine may be used to microchip those who take it. In reality, passive RFID technology is too large to be injected through a needle, and GPS tracking devices require batteries.
Even worse, some believe that the vaccine may cause infertility. There is no evidence that the COVID-19 vaccine causes infertility or early pregnancy loss. Always check with your doctor before getting any vaccines.
In the day and age where misinformation is sweeping across social media and the internet, it's hard to know exactly who and what to believe. Misinformation comes in the form of tabloids, chain mail, and social media posts. Don't let misinformation hurt you and your family.
There's also fear of weakened immune systems and links to autism. The COVID vaccine can have side effects, but the vast majority are very short-term, and hundreds of studies across the globe have shown time and time again that there is no connection between vaccines and autism.
So why take the vaccine? It's about protecting you and others around you. Protect the ones you love. Take the shot.
Let's take the vaccine together.